It says starting. I don't know. Oh, now we are officially live. Now we got the little red button.
Yay! We are officially live. I just refreshed the YouTube and I muted it so we don't hear that.
Oh, that lovely little echo with the 5 minute, or not 5 minute, 5 second delay. You're like, wait a second, what?
5 minutes. Well, hello, my dear. It's so good to see your face. I've missed you so much.
I feel like we haven't talked or done this in a while. And I was looking back, our last live stream was on December 4th for Pride. We did the movie night the following week, but we weren't live streaming. So it feels weird. It's like I haven't seen you in such a long time. It's been
a month. It's been over a month.
This made it cold.
I miss you so much. I was like, how do we live stream? How do we do this?
I mean, with the holidays and stuff, we're moving forward. We're like, we are back. And we were talking about romance. Like, we are not going anywhere. At least not for another 11 months when it comes right back around holiday season.
Right. We are here. We are here.
And I did notice I did see the little flowers in the background. I'm glad they arrived in the mail okay.
Yes, there was one where it was kind of a little crumpled, but I straightened it out. I think it was this one. Yeah, but I straightened it out a little bit on this side.
Oh, good. I made for those of you wondering what I'm talking about, I made her little Slytherin colored, fake flowers.
I love them so much. I'm just like, yeah, they're going on my bookshelf. Where did this one come from? Yes, I love them so much.
I was so convinced that they were going to get crumpled, and I was like, I will have to make her more and just send her a box of fake flowers that I made her. I had a backup plan in mind in case they arrive completely smushed.
Crushed. No, they're good. They're good. They're alive and thriving. All right. Well, who has joined us?
Comment. It says we got 6 people watching before. It just said 2, and I'm assuming that was you and me.
Right? Usually if it's just 2, it's just us.
Which I'm totally okay with. I'm happy just spending the evening talking to my bestie. I am fine with that.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that too.
We were talking about something that you have been wanting to talk about for the longest time, and you have been recommending this book. This is the first time I've read it, but she's holding up, caressing the book. And I know the camera is when she's caressing the book.
Yes, I was like, yes, this book. I talk about it. I probably
reminded me of Gollum, my precious. That's what you just reminded me of.
My precious. Yeah, I think I talked about it when, I've obviously recommended this book, and it didn't win. But I'm so glad that, we start the new year off with my favorite Lisa Kleypas book, Stranger in My Arms. It was wonderful. How many of you have read it? What did you think? Comment away. Hi, Leslie. How are you?
Hey, welcome to the live stream.
Oh, my dogs are going to start barking because Daddy's home. I hear the truck.
Well, at least we can look in on them and keep them company while you're talking about your Lisa Kleypas book over here.
Yes, yes. My puppy injured himself, so he's laying in here with me, but now that Daddy's home, he can go and be with Daddy, and I can stop worrying about it. Hi, everyone. What'd you say?
He was like, Daddy will take care of me.
Daddy will take care of me. I don't want him to run around, but I'm like, you have to. Go. Run, be free. Romance Queen of Booktube. Hi, everyone. I haven't read the book, but it looks good, though. Oh, yes. I mean, I loved it. It's a 5-star for me. I don't know about Angela, but we were just gushing about it all day, and I'm hoping to gush some more.
I mean, I know you love it. I'm going to give it 4 stars.
That's totally fine. 4 stars is fantastic. I know.
I'm giving it 4 stars. I mean, I enjoyed it, but there were a few things where I'm like, wait a second, we shall discuss.
We shall discuss this.
Yeah, I know. 4.5 for me. I still give it a high rating. I am not taking anything away from this book, but I'm not oh, this is the next Archer's voice for me. No, hasn't replaced Archer yet.
It's going to be hard to get up there with Archer's voice. But when I first read this book, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. 5 stars. This was my first dive into historical romance. And I'm like, yes, Lisa Kleypas is the queen. And then that was back in
You got to give her credit. I mean, she's got those historical details. Like, you got to give her credit. She's got those red tops on her.
Yeah, she is. I mean, that's basically what she writes. She has a couple, I think one other like contemporary series, but she predominantly writes historical romance and she knows her stuff. So when I first read this, absolutely, I was like, oh my God, it's amazing, 5 stars. You know, and then when you reread it, you catch other things. And I can admit there are some things that I'm like, huh, what is going on here? But I love that I can still reread a book, because even when I was just going through it today and getting some quotes for, you know, Twitter, and I was like, I didn't really remember that. But, you know, I'm glad I can still do that. You know, when you reread a book so many times, I probably have reread this book like 6 times.
I mean, I knew you loved the book, but that's loving a book.
Sometimes you just need to, like, sometimes when you're feeling down, or, you know, you're just like, I just want to read like an old goodie or something, you know, I just go and look at my shelf and I'm like, Stranger in My Arms. That's a good one. I mean, there's something about this couple that just, it pulls at my heartstrings.
What is it about them that what is it you just totally love?
It's just, I mean,
we're talking spoilers, by the way, people. Spoilers galore. If you haven't, spoilers are coming.
Spoilers galore. But there's a couple scenes that just do it for me, and it's just, he has some one-liners that are just so romantic and just so like heartfelt, and you can tell it's just like she is like the best thing that's ever happened to him, and he loves her so much, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my shipper heart.
I was gonna say, I did pull some of his quotes.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I marked some that I marked some in the book, and then also Twitter, obviously we were putting quotes galore on Twitter.
I was emailing a lot, because I always highlight and email the quotes myself. And then as I post them on Twitter, I go through the emails and post them as read. And I mean, I had like 40 emails in my inbox just from that alone. Granted, there was a whole lot of others in there as well, but I was just emailing myself so many quotes, even just small ones like this. This is a 1-sentence quote. She made him want to be the kind of man she needed. And then this was, I mean, he was so sweet. He's like, you're the last woman I'm ever gonna love. I mean, it just.
There's some lines in there that he has. I'm like, man, swoon alert over here. You know?
Although, okay, so yes, they're swoon worthy, but I loved, my absolute favorite part of this book was a little child named Johnny. He was my favorite part of this book. So we have Lara, who is Lara. I say Lara, right?
Lara, yeah.
Lara. I just want to make sure, because usually there's a U in there. So Lara.
Yeah. So, I just have a friend. She's in my book club, and her name is Lara. So it's like, I know that's how she spells it. So. Yeah,
because I know in Lara, and it's Lara, and I was like, is this pronounced the same? Anywho, so Lara there is volunteering in an orphanage. She is one of the kindest hearts. I mean, you kind of gotta love her as a character. She's just so super sweet and just giving. And so one of the little boys she meets is Johnny, and she decides she wants to keep him. And he is just the cutest, sweetest little thing. And he was the entire book for me. Like, yes, the couple is romantic, and there's a lot of sweet moments and swoon-worthy moments, but he made me laugh. I was so emotionally invested in this little child. He was the highlight of the book. I mean, maybe I would give him 5 out of, I give him 10 out of 5 stars over there. I just love this little kid. He was just so cute. I mean, he just made me laugh out loud. When he asks the husband Hunter, he's like, are you married to me, lady? He's like, I'm going to marry her someday. And then so Hunter says, what will you do with me? He's like, you can stay here. The boy offered generously if he wants it. And he's just so cute. Like, he has a pet mouse that he was keeping alive, even though he had all these other problems. I love Johnny. I love Johnny so much.
He is, like, seriously, like, the cute factor of Johnny is just seriously, like you said, like 10 out of 5 would. But I loved him so much as well. Totally invested in his story, and I just loved that, he like grew on Hunter, because at first he didn't want him to stay in the house, but then he was like, okay, I can see, like, he admitted, he was like, I can see how, Lara would fall in love with him and make you feel like you want to take care of him. I was like, that's so sweet.
So I love this kid so much, and my heart just totally melted when he started calling her mama. I couldn't. I was crying when he called her mama. I couldn't take it. I was so emotionally invested in this at this point. He goes, mama, mama. And it was just, I lost it. I was, you know, tears in my eyes because he's just so cute. I wanted to adopt this kid. I wanted to hug him. I loved him so much. And the dialogue, I mean, that character had me literally laughing out loud, not just kind of, oh, snicker, snicker. I was laughing. There's a scene when Lara finally spends the night with her husband, Hunter, you know, Hunter. And so, little air quotes. And so the next morning, they're in bed together and he walks in, mama, mama. And he's just having a conversation with her, like nothing's out of the ordinary. Like it's totally typical to walk in on this situation. And he just keeps, you know, he's just so cute. He just is like, where you forgot your nightgown? Mama, you're so silly. You must have been so tired. And like, he just totally brushes it off. And I love this kid. I just got the biggest kick out of his dialogue. It was so cute.
Yeah, he is adorable. One scene where, you know, had me on the edge of my seat, and it's toward the end of the book, so, you know, definitely, again, spoiler warning. Lara's protecting her sister from her abusive husband, and then
yes! I tweeted you immediately during that scene.
Yes. And, you know, since Hunter is, you know, not home, Johnny decides to be the man of the house and protecting Auntie Rachel and Mama. And he has this like toy pistol and he's like, you're not taking her. You're not hurting Auntie Rachel and Mama. I was like, oh my God, you better not hurt him. I swear.
That was the moment when I DM'd. I could not help. I was going, this is the cutest child ever, because he fired the fake toy pistol, and I'm just going, oh, you are so cute. You want to defend your family, and you're just, just want to hug him.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, definitely. He's one of the factors why I love this book so much. He is just the sweetest kid, and he's one of the characters that just pulls at your heartstrings. And like you said, you're so invested in his story and you just want him to be okay.
I mean, he's just so sweet and adorable. I mean, when we first meet him, he's taking care of this little mouse. He's got this little mouse and he's going, Mousy. And from that moment forward, he completely had my heart. He was just so adorable. And I really liked how Lisa Kleypas wrote the relationship between him and Lara, because they both had that disposition of kind of like taking in strays, because he was doing that with the animals, and, you know, she wanted to dedicate her time toward those in need. Like, she was one of those people always volunteering, and so they had a very similar disposition. So I liked that they complemented each other as characters too. And then, you know, his dialogue was just amazing.
Yeah, he's so cute with his little mousy.
Well, then he never got Mousy back. I was really upset about that.
Yeah.
I was very upset. I was upset about that, Miss Lisa Kleypas. I wanted him to go back to the orphanage one day when they were volunteering and have Mousy come out of the corner and run to him. I even had that like ending in my own little head. Like, I rewrote that.
That would have just like been the thing you needed to push you to 5 stars. I
was waiting for him to find Mousy again. Even if he just found a field mouse that resembled Mousy, and he was like going, oh, this is Mousy, and they knew it wasn't, but he's going, oh, this is my mouse. Like, I kind of wanted him to have a mouse again.
I kind of want him just to have a pet at this point. Something to take care of. Yeah, seriously, I know. I was just like, well, I had to leave him behind. It's like, can only take in one stray. And then Rachel, she was like, was it a dead mouse? And she's like, no, it was alive.
I was laughing at that too. She's like, why did he have a mouse? What's going on with this?
You just picture her face. Was it a dead mouse? She's so funny. Oh, and Rachel, you did bring up a good point as well when we were DMing each other, that you kind of wanted her story afterward, and she doesn't get a story. You know, I feel like she does deserve her happily ever after, because she went through hell, I tell you.
I wanted that story because because again, I've read some Lisa Kleypas. I haven't read all of her books. Eloisa James has been my historical go-to. I've been learning to read more Lisa Kleypas. I hadn't read this book before we did this tonight. But I was like, did she get her own story? Because when you read about her, I mean, I knew from the get-go that we were going to have her secondary plot there. I knew she was going to have her own narrative. But at the end, when she's reintroduced to a love interest, I wanted that love interest story. I mean, we kind of get the ending. We know what's going to happen, but I want that story.
I know. And it's kind of like she just kind of like wrapped it up, and because Lara or Johnny was like, who's Auntie Rachel talking to? And it's like, oh, her future husband. So it's kind of
yes, I loved that. I thought that was so endearing and cute, but I still wanted, because I just loved her as a character. She was so sweet. And again, your heart had to go out to her. She dealt with an abusive husband, and because he was abusive, he actually caused a miscarriage. Major spoiler alert. That happens about 65% of the way into the book. I mean, you want her to have her own happily ever after, and so it's hinted at, but I wanted more than a hint.
yeah, for sure. And I was like, I didn't even really think about it until you said it. I'm like, she doesn't get a story, which yeah, is very sad.
You're tuning in tonight, Lisa Kleypas, or you somehow stumble upon this YouTube video, I am making a formal request for Rachel to get her own story.
I follow that, yes.
I will pitch it hard on every single platform because I want this. I want this story.
Yeah, because seriously, if anybody deserves it, it's Rachel.
And I'm also putting a second request in, Miss Lisa Kleypas. I want Johnny to have his own story someday. I want Johnny to have his own happily ever after. I want his story.
When he's all grown up and
I'm making that formal request. I'm putting that.
That would be awesome. Yeah, no, it's like I was actually looking. I was like, maybe like because you know how in other stories of hers there are, you know, you do see some other characters, but they're not. It's not their story. They're just mentioned. Like in the new Ravenel series, she mentions. I'm trying to think. It's the Wallflower series, but she mentions those characters that were in that book. So I'm just like, okay, you kind of see like characters in different books. So she does, you know, you do see them again, but it's not their story. They don't get a story. We need a story.
Oh, I'm inputting this request. I want Rachel to have her own story, and then 10, 15 years in the future, Johnny's getting his own story. I want this. I'm inputting this request. I'm serious. I want these two stories.
If you draw up a petition, I will sign it.
I formally request you write these novels.
Just, you know, like DM her.
Oh, I also have another request, okay? For those of you paying attention who have read this book, I want to know the real name of our hero because it is never mentioned. I want his real name. It is never told, even from the people who realize it's not Hunter, even from the people who, you know, there's the one guy who recognized him as the mercenary from India. Like, there are a couple people who know who he is, but they never call him by his name. I want that name.
I do too. That was the one thing at the end too, where it's like they have this like cute little like secret like wedding ceremony. You know, it's like everything is found out by Lara that, you know, Hunter, who has come back from the dead, is not really Hunter. It's just his half brother who has, you know, fallen in love with Rachel from her portrait and then her letters that she wrote her real husband, Hunter. And so he decides that, you know, oh, Hunter threw away his life, but he doesn't deserve it, so I do. So everything gets found out. Lara knows that it's not Hunter. She loves him anyway. They have their happily ever after. And at the end, they have this really cute little, you know, private secret wedding ceremony so they can be, you know, married, you know, to each other. And he doesn't tell her his real name, which is so annoying because, you know, it's like, I don't want to call him Hunter anymore. He is not Hunter. Hunter is a terrible, terrible guy. This new Hunter is like 100 times better than he was. And I was like, I want to call you by your own name because you are so much better than he is. You treat Rachel, or not Rachel, you treat Lara like a queen and you're just really romantic and sweet. And I love you and I need to call you by something else.
I wanted him, even if it was just a nickname that she had just for him, I wanted him to have his own sort of identity separate from Hunter, because if you guys read this book, Hunter is a terrible human being. He's awful. He's just flat out awful. I loathe this character. He wasn't, I mean, again, we find out it's not really Hunter, which I kind of suspected all along, not gonna lie. I was like 99.9% sure it wasn't Hunter the entire time. And so, yes, like throwing that out there. But like the real Hunter did not care for that individual. And so, I mean, when you read about him, you know, he's arrogant, he's entitled. I mean, there's a lot wrong with this character, and there's some hot button issues that we can talk about with that as well. I mean, I think rapist is amongst them as well.
For sure.
That was something that wasn't really addressed in the book, because the whole historical component of like you can't actually rape your wife.
Mm-hmm.
He did repeatedly.
Sure did.
Yeah, we don't really get into this element, which is why I think it's not the 5-star for me, because I think that needed to be kind of fleshed out a little bit more, because our heroine here, I mean, it's kind of hinted at she has PTSD. It's not really fully addressed or explored, but her husband raped her repeatedly for 2 years, and then she was relieved when she thought he was dead, and then he comes back and she's going, please, no, 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 no. I mean, she didn't want it to be real because she'd had so much trauma at his hands. And so this is hinted at, it's kind of explored, but I kind of wanted more from that, because what Hunter did to her was devastating. I mean, he abused her, he cheated on her, he humiliated her. I mean, there were so many things he did to this poor woman. And so, when he comes back and all of a sudden he's loving, you're going, okay, I know this is not the guy who did all this stuff. I mean, that's why I was so positive it wasn't him.
Right.
I mean, there was no way the guy we were reading was the guy who did all that. No.
Right. And he's like, I've changed, it's like being, almost dead. And his excuses were, or his, what he says is like, being nearly killed and, away from home. And, that's kind of changed me. I've changed. And he knew some stuff. And even Lara was just like, I don't think he's my husband, but I don't know how he can be anyone else, because he knows things, like things that no one else could know. And then it turns out that, yeah, he knows these things because Hunter kept journals, very detailed, very specific journals of his life, of, political things, his friendships, his secret alliances, gossip, anything, so this imposter, he knew a lot about his life. And he said, he was like this, marauder in India, and he was basically a chameleon. He could change, make you believe he's anything that he wanted you to. And so he definitely played the part very well. And so very convincing. Lara she kind of had an idea. I'm going to give her that. But it was confirmed by someone who was in India and knew this person. And so he told her. That's how she finds out that it's not really Hunter. It's his half-brother. And he kind of says that he's like a mercenary, and he uses the word chameleon, like he made you believe he was anybody. He could change his face, like, not like really change his face, but but yeah, so he definitely, played the part very well. And that scene where, he's in the like jail cell waiting for his trial, he wasn't even surprised. He was just like, you know what, I'll take my punishment, because what the time that he did have with Lara, he said it was worth dying for. And I'm like, oh God.
I mean, there were so many kind of like hints along the way too. I mean, it was almost, I don't know how to phrase it, almost as if I was kind of frustrated. I'm like, yeah, just tell me it's not Hunter. Like, it's not him. Because there were so many hints, and I was actually marking and keeping track of them after a certain point, because I'm going, there's no way. I mean, again, this is when, I think it should have just been like crystal clear to everybody. Again, a guy who's a rapist and treats his wife like trash is not going to go, into society and cause upheaval in another marriage. And he rescued Lara's sister, Rachel. And so he grabs Rachel from this really bad situation, and he goes, I'm Hawksworth. And, she's not doing well. She's kind of out of it, and goes, no, you're not. That's her like, no, not you. No, that's not you. That's not him. I mean, there are just so many hints along the way that like, this is not the old Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There, you even get some little snippets from his point of view, and you're kind of, he has definitely taken on the persona of Hunter, but he's looking for these journals. He is going into, back alleys in London to get this tattoo. And even that scene where, the tattooist was like, the scorpion, this is a very unique design. Does it have any special meaning for you? And all he says was everything. It's like, why is he going through all this trouble?
I marked that quote because I love how it's like a one-word answer. It's like Snape's always. It's one of those poignant. Oh,
Yeah.
I marked that exact line. We really are on the same wavelength.
We are. Like, seriously, I loved that line because, you know, when you finish the book, and that's what you get. Like, when you finish the book and you know, it's like, okay, this isn't Hunter. And then you go to reread it, you're picking up on all these little things like, oh, okay, you know. So when the tattooist is like, what does this mean to you? And he says everything, you know, because Hunter has this tattoo on his body. So for him to pull this off and to be Hunter, he needs this tattoo. So like, it's literally everything for him. And so I love that line too. Like, especially when you reread it and you're like, oh, it's because he's not Hunter and he's trying so hard to be Hunter.
I mean, it's kind of a tricky line to maneuver because he has to appear to be Hunter, but at the same time, he doesn't want to be Hunter.
Right.
And he has these moments where I copied this line. He didn't want to appear the chivalrous knight, she realized. He was trying to make it clear that his motives were more selfish than benevolent. He's trying to make it seem as if he's the old Hunter who doesn't care, but at the same time, he's a different human being who does care. I mean, right. That whole fine balance issue comes into play quite a few times. Even when he's first there, I mean, again, I think Lara has PTSD. I think she's a victimized human being. Like, your heart has to go out to her. He whispers, "I would never hurt you." And she goes, "I'm not afraid of you. I just don't want to be your wife again." And right. So we have this issue of, he's a different human being, but how does he tell her that he is without not giving away he's not the real Hunter? So again, you got to give Lisa Kleypas credit here for maneuvering this tricky little situation she wrote.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you 100%. It's like, it's not that he wants to be Hunter. It's just he wants everything that Hunter has. Mostly he just wants Lara. If they were just like poor in a hovel, he would totally do that. And he doesn't want to be Lord Hawksworth. He just wants to be Lara's husband. And if he has to play Hunter to be that, he absolutely will, to the best of his ability. And yeah, it is very, it's very murky, because I definitely agree with you. Lara has post-traumatic stress. She was, like you said, she was raped the 2 years she was married to Lord Hawksworth, and it was just not good, not good at all. And so you do have to feel for her, and how, even though when Hunter comes back and he wants her so badly, you have to, tread very carefully with this, because honestly, if I was in that situation, I was, married to someone who abused me and, raped me constantly, and for him to come back magically and want to have a sexual relationship again, I'm like, I'm sorry, no. So it's like, that's very, a very tricky, very delicate, like you said, for, cheers to Lisa Kleypas for navigating that so well.
I mean, because there are things, so this is again why I knew early on it wasn't Hunter. He's like, the more I remembered about you and our marriage, the more I realized what a selfish bastard I'd been. I promised myself that as soon as I returned to you, we would begin again. And I'm going, you want to just step over all that was done? I mean, right. As someone who committed all these heinous acts over the course of several years was not going to have this perspective. It just, that wasn't going to be the case.
Right. Yep. For sure.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was also gonna say, like, when the story starts, Hunter's already been dead, and Lara has been a widow for a year, and she is living her best life, helping the orphans, and being just the kind-hearted, wonderful person that she is. And then all of a sudden, one of her servants gets word that, Lord Hawksworth, he's alive. It's someone who closely resembles him, is saying that he's Lord Hawksworth. And, she can't believe it. She's like, no, it's just, it's some poor soul who's confused, or, he needs money, we'll take care of him. You just make sure he gets what he needs, but it's not, Lord Hawksworth. She tries everything to, and to be like, no, it's not him, because she does not want to be put back in that situation, because she's finally living free. She's happy. And then she's back. There's even a scene where she says something where, it was like, she was a prisoner and she was released only to be thrown back in again. And that really, like, that touched my heart. I'm like, oh man, this poor thing, this poor woman. I'm trying to, I think I tweeted about it. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, it was one of those things where, and she fought it. She fought it so hard. And, you know, she's trying to compose herself in her little cottage. And then, you know, Hunter comes in and, you know, he's like, Lara, it's me. And she like faints. She's like, she cannot handle this being true. And so I definitely feel for Lara. She is definitely, you know, so sweet and so kind-hearted. And she goes out of her way to help literally everybody. You know, even this person who she thinks has done her wrong, you know, she gave him the benefit of the doubt, which just shows like how her character is.
I mean, one of the lines I had just kind of marked it was Hunter had always called her like a necessary nuisance. He just wanted her to bear kids. Like that was all she was to him, just a woman to bear his children. Like that was it. She wasn't even being nothing. But one of the things that really struck me was he didn't just treat her cruelly in private. He was publicly ridiculing her. So he had a mistress, and that was well known to society. He didn't hide it. Again, you know, not like that's not fair to her. I mean, yes, he's cheating, and then he's like telling everyone he's cheating. He's making a sport of it. And then when the new Hunter air quotes, is talking to his old mistress and says, I want to make a new start with my wife, her mouth drops open and she goes, don't insult me with lies. And she goes on to tell him how, you know, we would make sport of her. You despise the delicate creature. And she goes on to list the reasons of all the times that he mentioned how he couldn't stand her. And I'm going, this is absolutely terrible. He's bad-mouthing her in addition to everything else that this guy's done. I mean, like that was when I was just going, you know, hands in the air, like I'm done with old Hunter. Like I just couldn't. I couldn't deal with it. I mean, for some reason, like that was where it was just one thing after another after another. Like this guy had no redeemable characteristics. None.
Not at all. None. Like
that was a bad one to me. Like it was, you know, he had the mistress, then he's saying all these things that are negative about Lara to the mistress and saying them out in society and going, this guy is just truly awful. And that is not the same guy in the room talking to this woman kindly right now. Not the same guy. No.
Not at all. It's like, so he's like, I know this isn't Hunter. I know this isn't Hunter. You know, that's why I kind of was like, want him to have a different name, because I was like, there's no way that you can be that man. No way.
This was also why I wanted a different name for him. So this was one of the lines that I had kind of noted. She wanted to carry Hunter's child to bear a part of him within her. And I'm going, no, you don't. You don't want Hunter's child. You want his child. He's not Hunter. And I wanted him to have a different name in that sentence. I'm going, no, you don't want Hunter's child. You want his child, the unnamed hero that we still don't know the name of. You want his child. I wanted to like go in and rewrite that sentence.
Right, exactly. It's like, no, even when she like finds out, you know, she obviously doesn't know what to call him other than Hunter, because that is who he's masquerading as. So it was one of those things where I was like, I definitely want a new name for you. Just seriously, just talking about it back and forth. And I was like, I don't want to call him Hunter when I'm talking about, you know, the hero of this story.
In quotes to you, I was like, Hunter.
Hunter. I like how you're like Hunter air quotes.
Well, even though I like DM'd you, I was putting like in quotes. I'm like, I couldn't call him Hunter. Like I couldn't bring myself to do it.
We say the evil guy is Lord Hawksworth, and then the nice hero is Hunter.
I'll go with you on that one. But I mean, he does call her sweet at one point. This was, again, one of those moments where you're going, this isn't old Hunter. Because he says, what is it, my love? And she goes, you never called me that before. Like, even if she just gave him a nickname, like, even if she called him my love or something, like, give him a nickname. Give him his own term of endearment.
Right, exactly. And like, even like there like you said, there's these little hints throughout the book, you know, it's like, oh, Hunter never liked doing this, or Hunter never did this. And I'm like, that's because it's not Hunter.
Well, one of the time, I mean, this was the moment where she really should have just known. I mean, there are a whole lot of moments she should have known, but she expected Hunter to react in a similar manner to Rachel's husband when they're going to fight, because they both learned the same sport. They both participated in the same type of athletics, and they were trained the same way. And so all of a sudden, this guy just like drops him like there's no tomorrow. The whole mercenary background coming into play, and how he moved as a fluid blur, using his knee and the heel of his hand in a way that somehow sent Lonsdale to the floor in a groaning heap. She's going, that's not what Hunter was like. That's not what my husband was trying to do. I mean, you can see the mercenary background come into like full swing in that moment. You know, major credit to Lisa Kleypas there. I mean, including the background in the scene. Got to give her credit. But I mean, there were so many times when he would do things that were not indicative of old Hunter. So many instances. I was keeping a list.
I love that because, you know, just like these little clues where, you know, things aren't adding up. But I like what you said, like their story, like Lord Hawksworth and Lara's story needed to be fleshed out a little bit, because even though what you do get of old Lord Hawksworth is enough to make you hate this man, but like there's even, you know, deeper stuff like trauma that, you know, should have been brought to light, because then you would know like how much Lara had to overcome to just be able to fall in love with this man when she thought that was Hunter.
I mean, I also, because I think there's a lot to this story, and I kind of got a little bit of a Jane Austen vibe with how the new entitled, Janet and her husband there, the awful, you know, when he tried to take over the title for Hawksworth, how they were making fun of her. They pretty much bullied her and abused her and sent her into this rickety old cottage over there. I mean, this woman went through 2 years of being tormented by her husband to then finally getting to be independent and getting rid of him and living on her own, but she's not living in good living conditions. It's basically, she says it smells like mold. She has very little furniture. And the way they talk about her, and they say, I mean, my nephew's widow is the patron saint of beggars, orphans, and stray dogs. I mean, they basically like dismiss her and make fun of her. So she's getting verbally abused now too. I mean, this poor character, I mean, Lara was put through the ringer several times. I mean, she deserved a happily ever after, this girl. She deserved it 10 times over.
Yeah, Arthur and Janet were pieces of work, I tell you. Like, Janet was just like this catty, and she had those like backhanded like compliments where like you said, she was like, oh, she's the patron saint of all the beggars and orphans, and it's like, that is so like, why are you so mean, rude? Yeah, she was not a very nice person.
Well, they were so terrible. And then when, again, because at first she didn't know if this was old Hunter return, benefit of the doubt situation, you know, they lash out at her. They get aggressive and verbally abusive. I mean, she has had to endure a lot. I mean, from so many different people throughout the narrative. I mean, you gotta feel for her. And I mean, even though he's our hero, I still, part of me doesn't like the fact that he's like masquerading as her husband, because due to the historical time frame, you know, here's this woman thinking she's laying with her husband. So he's kind of manipulating that situation a little bit, which also kind of was a little gnawing at the back of my. You're nodding along.
Oh yeah, there's some definite, you know, he came back. He even said like towards the end, you know, like if I came back, or if I came here as I was, you know, told you the story, would you take me? And she flat out said no, like, no, I wouldn't. So he knew that. So he definitely used the fact that he looked like Hunter, he had these skills, and took the fact that if he came back and masqueraded as Hunter, he would be her husband in every, you know, right? You know, basically in that time period, husbands own their wives. So he was entitled to her. And that's, you know, that's what he said. He said it at the end. He was like, if I came to you as I was, you would not take me. And she said no. So this is why he did it the other way.
I mean, but that's excusing a whole lot of lies and issues there, though. I mean, are we just going to sweep all that right under the rug? I mean, what are we going to do with that?
It's definitely, you know, like using things to your advantage. And, yeah, it's one of those things where you can find fault with this book. That is definitely it.
That's why I was like, okay, I enjoyed it. I thought the writing was spectacular. Again, I really think Lisa Kleypas is like a romance writing treasure. There were some things where I'm like, like, what do I do with this? So that was why I was like hesitant. I'm going, okay, 4.5, because that was gnawing at me a little bit. That was something that was hard. I still don't know if I've overcome that little hurdle in this.
I think I've just read it like so much where I can see I do love like the new Hunter and Lara, and you know, I feel for both of their situations. The new Hunter is definitely high-handed and arrogant in his own right, you know, not just him masquerading as Hunter or Lord Hawksworth, you know, and he felt like his life was lacking. He felt Lord Hawksworth didn't deserve the life that he had, so he took it for his own, you know, and that's definitely an issue. And he said that at the end. He was just like, yes, I wanted his life. He, you know, threw it all away, and I felt he didn't deserve it, so I took it. And at first, that's all it was. But then he said, I fell in love with you. And there's just something about, you know, just being like, your mind is just completely changed, and the core of you is completely changed because you fell in love with someone. And I'm just like, ah.
See, I actually have a question about that, because I don't know if this was a slip in the narrative or not, but supposedly he found the picture and became infatuated with it, but at the same token, he comes here and then realizes he's in love with her. Like, I wasn't sure where that little breakdown occurred, because if he saw the photo, like her little miniature, it's not a photo, a little miniature, it was painted.
Right.
The little miniature, he finds this image of her. He's utterly captivated. He's staring at it every day. And then he says, oh, but when I met you, I fell in love. I'm going, didn't you fall in love with a miniature already? I was going, wait a second, hold up, back up. Let's rewind this, flip back a few pages. Because I'm going, I know that was where he kind of first I don't want to say fell into lust or infatuation. He had some sort of pull to her with the miniature. So I wasn't sure when he's going, that was the only reason. I'm like, no, it wasn't. You saw that miniature and you're going, she is quite attractive. I want this. Where's the line? I want that delicate creature with her small, dainty hands and forlorn mouth. Like, he has, like, no, you wanted her too. Like, it wasn't just his life. I mean, she was a big part of that equation right there. Like, I'm like, that's a variable. That's a very important variable right there, Dio.
Yeah, and it's definitely like you said, like he fell into lust or infatuation, and it was just another, you know, little caveat of like something that he could have and take away from Lord Hawksworth. So, and then it's some very different, but like, you know, you see a picture of someone and you're attracted to them. And then he even said, like, I read your letters and they were just beautiful. And even she was like, oh, they were just simple and they were nothing. And he was like, they were everything. They were just, you know, and then, you know, you meet someone and you find out just how sweet and caring and thoughtful that she is, and to fall in love with a person other than the idea that you had of that person.
I mean, I have to admit, have you ever seen the movie Somewhere in Time with Jane Seymour? It reminded me of that, where you have the hero who sees her picture. I think it actually is a picture in this situation. Her picture on the wall, and he just sees it and he's captivated. And then from there, he goes in and spirals to find out more about her. It kind of reminded me of that. Like, this miniature was, you know, the equivalent in that storyline. I don't know.
Really familiar, but I don't think I've seen it. Now I want to, though.
It is a tearjerker. Be ready to cry. It is an excellent movie. The score in it is fabulous. It's a historical, you know, time period piece. Jane Seymour, she was like in her early 20s or mid 20s when she did it.
I love her.
I recommend this to everyone, to everyone tuning in tonight. I recommend Somewhere in Time. It has the original Superman guy too, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head.
Christopher Reeve?
Yes. He was the hero.
I love the original Superman.
Clearly, I know a lot about the superhero actors where I'm like, the original guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
She knows how I am. I don't know anything about the superhero world. I didn't realize, you know, Avengers and Justice League were two different things until like a week ago. So.
Yeah, like a week ago. Yep, two different things. But
as you just smile and nod, you're like, I love you anyway, sweetie. You're like, you're still my best friend.
I just love you. You're my best friend in the world. You're just, yes. I love you so much. guys are just laughing hysterically. I have to write that down. I have to write that movie down.
I'm so red. Oh, I think we totally just jumped into the discussion. I don't know if people are still watching or tuning in and out, but Jill Chalvis is giving away a copy of her Playing for Keeps book, which is coming out January 22nd. So if you comment tonight or, leave comments after the fact, within the next 24 hours, I will go through them all and then randomly select a winner. So if you'd like to enter to win a book before it is published and read and get it for free, because it's Jill Chalvis and she's awesome, so comment. Say hi, tell us your thoughts about romance, just anything, comment away, and you will be entered to win. So free ebook up for grabs.
That's so awesome. I'm so proud of you that Jill Chavez, reached out to you and had, you've like giving away arcs of her book, and that's just awesome to me. I love that.
So special. I'm like, because I really I think she's so talented, and to actually be emailing back and forth with her every time she emails me back, I'm like, it's an email from Jill Chalvis. I still get a little fangirl moment.
Yeah, and you should. And you are so special. You're like the best person ever.
Oh, you're the best person ever. You're the best.
You deserve every happiness.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
Don't cry. Only happy tears. I love you. That's really cool though. So yes, if you're watching, comment anything. How you liked Stranger in My Arms. What have you been reading? It's the new year. Have you been reading books? What was your first 5-star read of the year? If you even had a 5-star read. Have you had a 5-star read?
4.5. For this one.
Oh, that's amazing. I did have a 5-star read already this year. Transcendence by Shay Savage.
Yes. Okay, this is one of my favorite books, you guys. I love Transcendence. I was gnawing on my fingertips, I hope she likes it, I hope she likes it, I hope she likes it, because I love this book. Oh, yes.
So yes, if you've been with us almost every single live stream, Angela here, her, favorite book, by Shay Savage, Transcendence, she talks about it all the time. And I was like, you know what? You talk this book up so much. You make it sound so good. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read it. So I bought it last year and I was like, I'm so going to read it before the year ends. And I don't know what happened. Year ended on me. I don't know how that happened. But so I just read it a couple days ago over the weekend and I loved it. It was fantastic. 5 stars. You were right. Bow down to the queen.
That makes me so happy because I was so nervous because this was one of those books that really stole my heart. And it's when you feel that kind of connection to a book and you just love it so much, I really, there's kind of that personal investment of I want my best friend in the world to enjoy the book that I'm recommending. I was so nervous and then I'm so excited and just overjoyed, over the moon that you liked this book or loved this book. That makes me so happy. That is just amazing. I mean, that is the ultimate gift. I'm she likes, because that's one of my top 5 books, probably one of my top 5 romance novels. So I'm so excited that you love that book.
Yeah, I did. I really, really enjoyed it. Even though it's one of those stories where you definitely, the author had to show, not tell, because there is hardly any dialogue in this story. So the description and the detail, the attention to detail that, Shay Savage does, it was amazing. And by the end, the last scene, I was bawling. I was a wreck.
I think I told you, I was an emotional basket case when I first read this book because I stayed up until 4 in the morning to finish reading this book. I literally started and did not stop until I finished this book. I was not doing anything else. I was just going to read this book. So it's 4 in the morning. I'm sitting there. My dog's looking at me he's so angry that I'm still awake because then he's awake. So he's looking at me with little side eye, giving me that look. And I'm just Ed loves Bay. Ed loves Bay. And I'm just a big bucket of, emotions. I was just, but I loved it. It was one of those emotions where you're crying, but you're happy crying because it's so touching. It was just so well done. I love that book. Transcendence, I recommend it to everybody. I mean, again, I think the lack of dialogue, not only was it unique and it was so well done, but I've never come across anything quite like it. I mean,
yeah, me neither.
I think maybe 5% of the book is dialogue.
Yeah, it was just basically, them saying their names back and forth. And you can tell that, yes, Elizabeth was talking, but Ed didn't know. He didn't know anything. He didn't know what she was saying. All he was thinking is like, she's making those noises again, and it's hurting my head. And I was like, oh, poor thing.
But I thought that was so innocent and sweet. Like, I mean, this poor guy, he's living alone. He's got nobody. He wants someone to love, and then he meets this woman, and he falls in love with her, and he's trying to figure out how to have her fall in love with him. And he's trying to maneuver a situation where they can't communicate. They have to transcend boundaries. Ha ha ha! Hint, hint, hint. Love. So yes, I know the title. It works there, right? So as I'm like, I get all emotional talking about this book, but it's so cute because you get his perspective too, which is that is so rare in the romance industry or like romance. Yeah. It's usually told from the female point of view or like the rotating third or dual. So to have exclusively the male viewpoint, I mean, and then have it done exceptionally well and then have the emotional component and the narrative. I mean, everything about that book for me was like spot on. So I'm so, so happy that you enjoyed this book. That makes me so, I'm giddy right now. I'm like, yes, she likes one of my faves.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I loved it. And I saw Kelsey. Hello, Kelsey. How are you?
Have you read Transcendence? Will you read it?
Have you read Transcendence? Have you read Stranger in My Arms? I don't think you've read either of these two. I think she's trying to finish Written in My Own Heart's Blood. That was our last buddy read last year.
I think you should read these two books. They're really good.
I think you should too.
I know. I was trying to. Did you pick out 2 books for tonight or for the next ones? Yes.
I did.
Do you want to go?
I'm good. She says, I'm good. I haven't. Sounds like I need to. Yes, you do. Both of these books. You should.
As I just go off on like a rant gushing about Transcendence, I think I could like gush about this book consistently for the next, I could just spend all night talking about this book because I just love it. And I'm so happy that you love this book. Thanks. My little heart.
I know. It's like when you recommend a book to someone and they just love it, you're like, yes.
Well, I mean, again, it was a book where I think I'd been having like a really bad week or something. Mm-hmm. I forget like what was going on, but I was not in a good emotional, spot. And then you get this book and you just love it. And you're just so invested in the story. And, I think I read it probably a year after it came out. And I've read it several times since then. And it's always, every single time I cry at the same spots. I laugh at the same spots. And when a book can do that, I mean, there's something there.
There's something there. Yeah, I loved it. It was fantastic.
Now you gotta go read Left's.
I did read Left's. I did.
You read it?
Yes. I did. So Left's is from Elizabeth's perspective, and it's just a novella. It's definitely shorter than Transcendence. And I have to admit, I did like it better from Ed's point of view, but I love that the explanation that you got, because there was a little bit something, it's being told from Ed's point of view. So there are things that he just doesn't understand. He's not capable of understanding. And so there are little things like the whole time travel aspect. You're like, okay, what is she doing there? How did she get there? What's happening? And then you
That's the one thing I kind of felt like I was concerned about, like, because now that you've read it, I can talk a little bit more openly, like no little spoilers here. I'm still trying to be spoiler free for those of you who haven't read it. I'm trying to be respectful. But I was so concerned because in my own little head, the one caveat would have been the time travel element, because it's not really dived into. You just kind of have to go with it.
Yeah.
So kind of mentality you have to have, like, you have to just kind of accept that this girl was sent back in time and go from there. Like, if you can't accept that and go on with this narrative, the book's not going to pan out for you, because you're going to be like, why is she here? How is this going on? How did this guy get back here? What's this black, like, you're not going to go with it. You kind of just need to go with it a little bit. And I'm so happy you were able to go with it.
Oh yeah. I was just like, because I remember you saying that I remember you saying, it's like, there's a time travel aspect, just go with it. I'm like, okay, perfect. Done. Check.
That's like, again, I think I was just in the spot when I picked up the book where I just wanted to fall into a story. And so that worked for me. But if I was being like super critical and analytical, and I was like, I had my caffeine or something, and I was just like on my game going, how did this girl get back here? Like, I might not have kind of fallen into it as easily. Whereas in the moment, I just fell into it and went on from there, and I fell in love with the story. If I had put on my little like thinking cap and really like taken out my red pen to like jot down my notes, I might have been a little bit more like skeptical about it. So I think the mentality of like how you pick up the book will impact your reading experience.
For
That's
sure.
That's my own perspective.
For sure. I totally agree. You know, like if you're like a diehard sci-fi lover where you need every little thing explained of like how, you know, this is happening, you know, it probably wouldn't, you know,
because I know you like sci-fi. That's why I had that in my head. Like, I know, you know, you've got a certain challenge going on this month, which we'll talk about a little bit more. She's dancing, in case you guys.
I'm dancing. I always dance when Angela starts talking because no one wants to see me dance.
I just think it's so funny because people are probably like, why is she laughing? Or like looking down in the, like why is she looking down instead of looking up? I'm like, I'm watching her dance right now. She's doing a little joke.
Yep, that's what happens.
We have a challenge going on, and next week we're doing movie night, and it is To All the Boys I Loved Before, which I am so excited to rewatch. Because it's a great movie. I've already seen it twice. I'm down for the third rewatch. I'm down for this.
I need to read the book still.
Oh, it's a good book.
Read this book before I watch the movie.
It's a good read. It didn't take me that long to read the book, and you read quickly anyway. Yeah. So we're doing movie night next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, the third, yes, I'm like, so yes, I'm doing the month in my head. I'm going, and then the week after that, we're doing the sci-fi romance reads, because someone over here with a little challenge, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, so I was invited to co-host the second round of Tome Infinity and Beyond. It is a month-long readathon that's hosted by Tome Infinity. Her name is Meg. She is fantastic. The amount of like thought and effort, and she has like these Google documents and spreadsheets, and it's just, it blew my mind when I first, like the first round was amazing. Absolutely. Second round, there's so much more to it because obviously it's a month long. You're growing your settlement on your new planet. If you don't know what it's about, basically the first round of Tome Infinity is that, you know, Earth is, you know, going to explode. You know, the Earth is dying, something. And you have to get off Earth and go to a home planet. So you're going through the solar system to find your new home planet. And that was the first readathon. Second one is that you are growing your settlement on your new planet. And holy moly, there is so much involved in this readathon. I was thoroughly impressed. And then she invited me to co-host, and I said yes, because January is actually National Sci-Fi Month, which I had no idea. So for the We're Picking Romances live stream, we are going to be doing the subgenre for sci-fi romances. We're going to be talking about a lot of them. It's going to be great.
And I think you guys already kind of figured out what my first one was going to be.
Really? I don't know. What?
I don't know. It might have been I don't know. There might have been a Shay Savage novel.
It might have started with a T. Was it Transcendence? I don't know. And then Trish is here. Hi, how are you? Just a quick hello.
I love Trish. Everyone should be following Trish on every single platform. I love her. She's the sweetest human being.
Hi, Trish. How are you? But so, yeah, that is what I'm doing this month. I'm reading a bunch of, you know, I'm reading a few sci-fi romances. I'm reading some basically sci-fi, and then all the other stuff that's thrown in there. I have 20 books on my Tome Infinity and Beyond round 2 TBR. So with all the other
I haven't declared a reading challenge goal yet, and you already got that new thread going. I haven't decided my Goodreads number yet.
I honestly can't remember what I think I picked 52, just like a book a week.
We're already at like what, 12 or something? You're at a ridiculously high number.
If I don't count today's reread, which, you know, I probably won't because I just reread this book last year, but I've read 8 books so far.
I knew you had like a high number because I saw like one after another on your Twitter feed. I'm going, hi, what's going on? I'm like, she's really killing this challenge.
Over the weekend, I felt like all I did was read, and I was living my best life over the weekend. I read like 4 books just over the weekend. It was wonderful.
That is amazing. I love that. I was cleaning and like I was running around trying to make my apartment presentable. I would have loved to have been in bed reading. Like now you want me to do that this weekend. I'm like, I'm ready to.
Trisha's great. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And then yes, 8 books. Yes.
She is a reading machine. That is the perfect way to describe it. You are a reading machine. You should trademark that phrase and make that like your new channel title or like banner. Like I love that. Reading machine.
Reading machine. My superpower is reading.
As told by Kelsey.
Yeah, as told by Kelsey, I'm a reading machine. Reading is my superpower. I love it.
True. That goes with sci-fi, like machine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I was trying to be cute there. I was like,
You are cute.
I was like, we have a little play on words here. Literary people might get this.
So I'm hoping to finish another book tonight because I'm trying to, I have my Goodreads goal and then I have my own personal in my head goal. You know how that kind of, happens? Because I know if I put my own personal head goal of what I want to read onto Goodreads, it's not going to happen because I'm going to psych myself out because I'm going to see that number and be like, oh, you're like so many behind schedule or, just psychology. It's a thing. And so I didn't want to put like such a high number because I didn't want to psych myself out. Do you know what I mean?
I forget, honestly, to update my Goodreads like 80% of the time. I will go in because what I do is I've been reading a lot on my my Kindle app on my iPad. I read here a lot, and I don't have them synced. I just never did that. And so when I go through to archive and just kind of get some of the books off of the actual device and onto the cloud just to free up some space, I'll go through and do it all at once. But I always forget because some of the books I leave here, others I just forget I read them. So I forget to update Goodreads a lot. So when I post the goals, I'm always going, I know it's going to be higher, but I just know that I'm going to forget to put them in there for the goal.
You're a reading machine too, because I know you read over 200 books last year. I know
it was probably high. It was probably closer to like 300, honestly, because I forget to update Goodreads so often. Like I forget, and there are some books like unless it makes an impression, because once you start to read so frequently, unless a book sticks with you, you might actually just forget about it.
Right.
It sounds terrible. I mean, I think there are books out there for everybody. Like maybe the book that I kind of forgot about, someone else was like cherishing and hugging at night. Like I don't know, but I mean, there's some books. But there are some books like I forget about, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll have those ones like that sounds. She's caressing her books now.
I was like, as she's talking, I'm like, oh, Lisa Kleypas.
You remind me of like Gollum, like my precious.
Yes, but no, I totally get what you mean. It's like when you read so much, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I did read that. What was that about again? But I will never forget any detail about Archer's voice.
Oh no, that's what I mean. Like Transcendence, when I first, there's some books that will just like stay in your soul, and then there are other books you're like, in one ear and out the other, like that type of situation. Right.
You're just like, well, that was a book. That was a day I'm never getting back. Trish just say hugging it at night. Yeah. Yep. Or, if it, hurts you, it can go in the freezer. I've put books in the freezer before. I'm like, you go in there and you think about what you did just now.
Remember Joey on Friends? You please tell me you know.
Yes.
Yes, he did that with Stephen King and Little Woman. Like he was like, she's sick. Is she gonna get better? And you put the book in the freezer.
Funny story. I'm actually listening to Little Women right now, and so I did get to the part where she's sick, and I'm just remembering that episode. Got to run. My kiddo is basketball practice now, but wanted to stop by and say hi. Well, you have a good night, Kelsey.
Thanks for stopping by. We love you. You're so sweet.
Check in with the Voxer. We're starting Sandra Brown tomorrow.
I know you got me. I picked up a couple of her books, and I'm curious if one of them is the Buddy Read book. I don't know off the top of my head. I gotta go look at them. There's some.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me know.
I literally have like piles of books. You guys can't see obviously because you're facing this way, but behind my computer, there's like several stacks of books.
Same.
I think I need
my laptop is resting on a stack of books. on the bed that's on the other side of the laptop, stacks of books. Like, this is supposed to be a guest room, but it's become my film room, and though things have happened.
I know, I'm like looking around, I'm like, I need another bookcase. I don't think I have room for another one.
I most definitely need another bookcase. I keep telling my husband, I was like, you need to finish my second bookshelf, please, and mount it on the dang wall so I can put books on there.
Yeah, I'm feeling it, because I actually have them lined on my kitchen counter as well. I'm like, they look decorative there, but that's not where they're meant to be.
Right? I try to, like, even though, like, yeah, they're out in the main, like, living area, I try to keep them nice and neat and stacked, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's just, this is what's always supposed to be here.
Yeah, I'm kind of, you got me looking around now. I'm going, oh wow, like I really do need a bookcase.
And I was like, oh, eesh, all right.
Well, even like when you have the bookcase, I put stuff on top of the bookcases, so like I go upwards.
Yeah.
So I actually have a bookcase that has 3 rows on the top of the bookcase. So it's like front, back, and then like there's one stacked on the back row. So I actually have like 3 additional rows that I made. And then I do double books, because those are books in front of books. So there are books behind those ones. So.
Oh yeah. Like these are double stacked too, these. And I used to have a bunch stacked on top, but it doesn't quite stay together, because they're actually, I didn't buy these together. I just bought them at like yard sales. So I just needed them in a pinch, and so they don't really match. And so, but yeah, I did have books like just stacked up there, and then I have books in boxes. Those poor little
I was gonna say, we don't tell Joe these things. Joe does not need to know.
Yeah, Joe doesn't need to know exactly how many physical books I have.
That is like, don't watch my live stream, sweetie. Like, no. Don't you don't have to watch my YouTube channel or check in on my Twitter. Like, that's okay. I got enough followers.
He doesn't. So I am free to talk on here, and then Twitter things. On Facebook is a different story. I can't post anything book related on Facebook, because he will see and find out. He can't know the exact number. It can't happen.
Like, ignorance is bliss in this situation. Like, he's better off not knowing.
He is better off, because then he would probably like ground me. I would not be able to go in any kind of like bookstore ever.
Well, there are these too. Like, I feel as if my library number is really extravagant, but like I don't know the half of it, because most of them are ebooks.
Exactly.
So you can't, if you start doing ebooks, he won't see those.
I do have a bunch of, on my my Book Buddy app, it's easy to record the physical books, because you just scan a barcode and move on. With the ebooks, you actually have to go in there and manually input it. So I haven't put all of my ebooks that I have on my Book Buddy app. So it's like, even then I was like, I have some on there. I was like, that's just like a dent in the ebooks that I have. My husband asked me how many books I have, told him not to worry about it. He cannot know, ever. Yeah, seriously, ever. Just can't happen.
Only readers understand readers. If you're not a reader, you will look at someone who is a true bibliophile and just look at them like, I don't understand you as a human being. Whereas other readers are like, preach, I understand, high five. Like, we get it.
That's why I feel so at home, like book Twitter or booktube or bookstagram, just because even some ladies in my in real life book club, they don't get it. They say they like to read and they're readers, but not like us. You know?
I feel as if there are readers, then there are readers. There's a readers, like a little asterisk next to it or something. Like there's a little like, you're a reader, and then there's like, you're a reader. Like there's a whole nother level to being a bookworm, book lover.
Right. Tristan's saying,
I don't mean that as like a disrespectful thing, because I do think there are people who read like one book a month and are readers. I mean, if you read a book, I mean, I think there was some sad statistic, like adults read 1 book a year or something, like that's the average. And I'm going, that's so sad. Like, if you read 1 book a year, you're not a reader. If you read like 5 or 10, you're a reader. Right. But we were just talking about books in the hundreds. Like, there's another level to this.
In the hundreds. Yeah, exactly. I've seen that statistic too. Like, there are some, like, I think it was something like 70 something% of people don't read a single book after high school. And I'm like, what? What? I could not fathom that. Like, what? Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. Crazy to me. Trish is saying I'm at 1,896. Is that physical books? Or just all your ebooks, physical books?
That is an impressive number. Whether it's like one, the other combined, like that is an impressive.
If it's combined, if it's just physical, I dig it.
She's joining our little like readers with an asterisk club over there.
Readers, asterisk. That's a thing. It's a thing.
Just like your reading machine. Like we need to like keep a list of all the things that we come up with during these live streams, I swear.
Physical. She's at okay, physical books. That's awesome. I love that.
I'm also like, that's an impressive number, but like I'm also impressed you had the tenacity to like finish counting up to that number. Like how you actually counted that many books. I would have stopped counting after like 50. I would have been like, yeah, I have a lot.
Well, on my app, it's so easy to keep track. It tells me, it gives me the number. So I'm like, eesh.
But still, you have to like remember to use the app. I feel as if like I'll put something down, walk away, and like forget it's there. And I live in an apartment. Like there's not really that many places to go.
Yeah, it's like this. If I go to like a Goodwill and I like buy, you know, a bunch of books, they'll stay stacked on my dining room table until I put them in the Book Buddy app, and then I move that stack to another stack in a different room. So I know it's like, it's a system that's weird, but it works
I think
for
that's
me.
like a Slytherin in you. You're like, I need to have like my like, I think that was a little like, you got to keep track of it. You want to know. You want to know what you've achieved.
Right. Right. And then I print it out, like, because then you can export that file and print out the Excel spreadsheet of all your books. And I did that. And then I highlighted the ones that I've already read. And I'm just like, oh, it feels so nice highlighting these books that I've read. I have the Libib app. I scanned all the books. Took me 3 weeks. I broke out into a major sweat. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. When I first got the Book Buddy app and then I had to do all the books that I had, yeah, it took a long time.
I'm impressed you did all that in 3 weeks. That would have taken me like 3 months. Like, I think you deserve like a gold star, chocolate chip cookie, something. Like that is impressive.
You deserve cheesecake.
I have to go to food as I reward. As you're like, you deserve some sort of like dessert as a
dessert. You deserve a treat for that. 3 weeks worth of cheesecake to you.
Yes, I'm very impressed by that. I am very impressed.
It's easier now because now you keep up on it. So it's, you know, when I get a couple books, I scan them in, done. You know, but when I first got it, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna take forever.
See, because the other thing is now, I don't mean that this isn't like a laziness thing or anything, but I love how the colorful books look with the flowers on top of them. So I actually don't like to move them now. I just do like one book at a time. Like I tend to just leave them and like move like one book out, just kind of sliver it because I don't want to move the flowers on top of them.
That's probably a really great way to keep your bookshelf organized, because I feel like when I film and I want to show, you know, people the book that I'm talking about, and then I just have a stack of books because I'm too lazy to put them back after filming, I feel like that would be a really great organizational tool.
I mean, it's so funny because I think everyone always sees these 2 bookcases.
Yeah.
There are 6 others. Yeah. There are 6 other bookcases, and I'm telling you I need another one. So
yeah.
Y'all know there are a lot of books here in addition to the rainbow ones.
Yeah, you just see these 2. Then I have the big one in my office. Then I have one here. I have another one in the dining room. Yeah, I'm being overrun. It's going to be like a tragic, you know, falling over, and I'm just going to be buried in books. And how did Nicole die? She got buried in her books.
And Joe never knew the number of the books that killed his wife.
No. He was just saying, like, the quote for it was a lot. Yeah, physical books for me, 2013. That's what I got.
Wow.
It's wonderful.
And
I love it.
We don't tell Joe. Hashtag no. Joe doesn't need to know.
I hope he wasn't in the house when I said that. He's like walking like in and out, so hopefully he's outside. But I have, yeah, it's wonderful. I love it. And I keep buying more books. I don't know how to stop, honestly.
I was going to say, as far as addictions go, books is probably the best type of addiction.
telling my husband, I was like, you don't know how lucky you have it. It could be way worse.
Like, I could be buying Jimmy Choo shoes. Like, you don't know.
Shoes, purses, drugs. You don't understand how good you have it.
And you're more economical because you always do the Goodwill, like, thrift shopping too. Like, you get your hauls and you make the most of them. Like, I'm impressed with your book buying abilities. I really am.
See, my husband and I, we have a budget, and we've allotted so much in that budget for each of us to spend however we want. Mine always goes towards books, obviously, unless I need like clothes randomly one month. But so yeah, I make the most out of what I have. So I was like, if I only have this much to spend on books, you better believe if I can get some books for $1, I'm gonna do it.
I mean, I love it. I love it. I mean, because that's probably how you have such an extensive collection. I mean, I think because I started doing the again, this is on a pile of books. I go to grab the iPad. The book fell on the floor because I started doing like the free ones. So I'm now on a mailing list. I can probably find it and tell you the name of it. They tell you like the free book deals. So I've been taking advantage of like every time they send that like, hey, today's free book is. I'm like, yes, I don't even care. Like I just grab it before it goes back up to its price. So that once it's on the cloud, I can take it at, whenever I'd like. So I now have probably all those free books on the cloud.
I do that too. I just like, because you just got it for free. If it's free and you hate it, it doesn't matter. It's fine. You didn't spend money on it.
Well, I don't know if you've actually ended up reading them. So Alexa Riley, I'm on one of their, I am on so many newsletter lists because again, I'm studying the romance genre. This is what I do. So I'm on so many newsletter lists, which is why I have so many emails every morning. And so they sent one on Christmas Day. It was like, here's our Christmas gift to you. And it had a list of 20 books from authors who usually had, I want to say they're usually priced like $4.99 or something. And so they had them all for free that day or something. So I was like, yes, give me these books. So as soon as I got that I like clicked right on over. I'm like, download. Mine.
Awesome. You're like, Merry Christmas to me.
Yes. So I was like, thank you. This is the best holiday present ever. Free romance novels. Give them. I want them.
Give them. Good night, Trish. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us.
We love you.
Yeah, we get it. We get it. Because we're the readers. Asterisk.
Yeah, we're on our own reading plane.
Oh, yeah.
We got the shirts. We got a shirt to prove it.
Oh, yeah, our shirts. Romantics at Hart. Best way to spend a Tuesday.
A certain amazing best friend sent this to me for my Christmas present, and I'm in love with it. I started crying, and my mom was there. She's like, "This is so pretty," and so she was, she was happy I had a best friend. He was so amazing.
Yeah, I was just like, I wanted to because I wanted us to have shirts for like the longest time, and I'm just like, okay. And I have a friend who is crafty, so I'm just like, hey, can you make me some shirts?
Okay, like I love everything about this shirt. I love the font. I love the color. I love what you chose. I love the little pocket with the books. Like everything about this shirt, I love it. Every single thing, even the fabric, like everything about this shirt.
It's so soft, right? I love it so much. And I was like, these came out so well. So the whole the Romantics at Heart #booktube and #best way to spend a Tuesday. And I picked the font, I picked the color, and so I'm like, awesome. And I told my friend. And then the books on the pocket, because she didn't realize when she bought the shirt on Amazon that it had a pocket. So when it came in, she's like, oh man, it has a pocket. So everything is going to be like off center. And so she decided, the person who made the shirt, she decided like, oh, I'm going to put a book one on the pocket. I was like, that is a fantastic idea. I love you so much. Thank you.
Your friend and you have excellent taste. I love this so much. Like I love it. Like I want to just live in this shirt.
I think like since I got it like probably first week of December, and it was killing me. I wanted to send it to you right away, and I'm like, here, take it. It's your present. Love it. I was actually planning this since October, this shirt.
Oh
And so it's been on in my mind since October. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm sending you something. Something is in the works and I want to tell you about it. But I was like, I have to keep my mouth shut. I'm like the worst at presents. If I have to wait to give someone a present, I'm like, I don't wait. Here's your birthday present. Here's your Christmas present. It's terrible.
Well, I was like an emotional like basket case, like I am the best friend ever. Yeah. My mom was like, oh my God, you two are so cute together. I'm like, yes, I love her.
I love it so much.
So I was in tears. Like I really was in tears. Like I was so emotional. I was like, she's so thoughtful and sweet. I'm so lucky to have her.
It is official. It is official. We're official. It is hashtag best way to spend a Tuesday.
I know. The next step is I want to figure something out for you because we need to do movie shirts so that when we're live tweeting, we have like sweatshirts where we're like sitting there like, yeah, we're all comfy and cozy. Like who picked it? Hashtag who picked this movie?
Who picked this movie? You all did. Yeah, I love this shirt so much. I'm so glad it came out well and good and you like it. I was like, that was probably giving me the most anxiety. Is like, I hope that you like it.
I love. Like is an understatement. Like, again, I love the font. Like, I don't even know what font this is, but I love it. Like, I love the color. Because it's also kind of that nice, like, it's a lavender color. I love the color.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like it. I was so excited. I was like, at first I went with like this, like, it was kind of like a darker pink color since it was like we were using like a, you know, I was like, maybe if we do white shirts and have a darker color so it pops more. And then we're like, okay, black shirts, lighter font. It was this whole thing.
You were so thoughtful. Oh my goodness.
I was like, I hope she likes it.
Oh my God, I love it.
Thank you. I'm glad. I love it too. It's so comfortable. It's ridiculous how comfortable it is.
I know. I'm only wearing a sweatshirt because it's winter and I'm cold. Otherwise, you can see like the short sleeves.
Crazy. Yeah, it's short sleeve. Honestly,
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like there are sleeves under here. I'm just.
And I was thinking that too, and I was like, honestly, I should have got you a long sleeve. Just like I was thinking short sleeve, just because I was like, it's average 100 degrees here in Phoenix all the time. So I'm just like, short sleeves, please. But then I'm like, my poor best friend who lives in Washington, D.C., it's like -20.
I'm wearing my Anastasia. I went to go see the musical. I got myself a sweatshirt, so I'm wearing my Anastasia sweatshirt. I'm happy.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
I'm in a little like I have these glam over here. I'm good.
I love it. I love that we're official. Having a shirt and cards is like so official.
We're legit. We're so legit. See, because
legit to quit.
I was gonna say the next romance event or romance whatever, like I'm gonna have to wear this shirt to this, and like when I do my selfies with like whatever author, I mean like, haha.
Romantic to Heart, booktube. Yes, that's awesome.
It's happening. It's totally happening.
I'm so glad you liked it. I had a lot of anxiety over it.
There was no need because I love it. Like love it. Like A+++. Like 10 out of 5 with Johnny. Like that much kind of love.
Yay! All right. So did you want to talk about our book picks for next month?
Would you like to go first?
I would love to go first. Alrighty, so the first one I picked is another historical, and it's called If You Dare by Kresley Cole. And it's a Scottish Highlander. Like, of course, we love our Scottish Highlander historical romance novels. So I
know, what was it? The one, Never Seduce a Scot.
Yeah, by Maya Banks.
I was like, yeah, we really are like the Scottish historical. We talked about Outlander too. Like, this is in our wheelhouse. Like, I'm liking this title here.
Honestly, it's like there's like the historical subgenre, but like the subgenre is like Highlanders.
There's like you'll see like the kilt on the romance novel cover, and you're like, yep, right there.
Yes, I love it.
As soon as you said the title, I'm like, I don't think I've read this book, but now as soon as you said it, I'm like, Kresley Cole must add to TV Red List.
Yeah, mostly I had no idea she wrote like a historical trilogy. I mostly read Kresley Cole for her paranormal romance series. But so I was like, I saw this and I'm like, I like Cressley Cole.
I know you do, because you really like the alpha heroes, and that is her bread and butter. So yeah. I'm not surprised, and you're like, I enjoy her. I'm like, I'm sure you do.
Yes, you do. That's awesome. Alrighty, so If You Dare, featuring fierce Scottish brothers with dangerous lives, dark desires, and a deadly curse. Ooh, there might be some paranormal in here. Curses. Can he exact revenge? A band of mercenaries led by Cortland McCarrick wages war for General Ronaldo Pascal. When Court turns on the evil general, Pascal orders him killed, but Court narrowly escapes and exacts revenge by kidnapping Pascal's exquisite fiance. Can she deny her passions? Ooh. It's like there's a curse going on. There's like a war. Oh my goodness. It's like, can there be love between them? From the moment Court discovers that Anna's prim facade masks a fiery, brave lass, his heart's ensnared, and he dares to defy the curse that has shadowed his life. To walk with death or walk alone. But Pascal vows that he'll hunt the two, never stopping until he's destroyed them both. That sounds very intriguing. I like it.
I'm already ready to vote for that.
Like, yeah, If You Dare. Yes, I do. I do dare.
I do. I don't have that.
Like, there's so much more stuff going on than I realized.
I was gonna say, I'm like, can we make this? I'm like, I'm gonna put that at the top of the poll list. Make it easy comments.
Yes, I love it.
This is one of those books that was on my Kindle, and I think I convinced myself that I had read it. I think because it had been there so long. I think I convinced.
I've done that. It's like, I've read that book, yeah.
Yeah, I think I convinced myself I read it, even though I hadn't. I don't know where that came from. So, Dear Aaron by Mariana Zapata. I thought for some reason I had it in my head. I read this book. I was like, I had not. I still haven't. So this is my first pick. I did read the first, like the sample few pages. So I think I did read the first like 10 pages. And I was intrigued because it's an epistolary novel and it is written in the form of letters back and forth for the first apparently like 60 or 70%. So again, a different type of writing. I'm intrigued. So Ruby Santos knew exactly what she was getting herself into and she signed up to write a soldier overseas. The guidelines are simple. 1 letter or email a week for the length of his or her deployment. Care packages were optional. Been there, done that. She thought she knew what to expect. What she didn't count on was falling in love with the guy. That's my little summary. And it has a 4.3 rating or 4.03 rating on Goodreads. Out of
nice.
So it's highly rated.
That sounds amazing. I love that. I'm ready to vote for that one.
Well, I mean, you know how I feel about The Wall of Winnipeg and Me.
Yes.
I thought I had read her other books from her, but I guess I hadn't. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me is, I think, the only book I haven't read from her because I think I have them. I have Wait For It, which I had as one of my other book picks. I have Culty, and then I have the new one, Luna and the Lie, but I haven't read them yet. So I have 3 other books from her that I haven't read, but this is the one I wanted to make my pick. So
I love that. That sounds, and as soon as you're like, pen pal, soldier, epistle, I want to read it. Okay, so my second pick is a contemporary romance. It is called Hope Flames by J.C. Burton. I think that's how you say it. So contemporary. When it comes to love, they already know the rules by heart. 32 and finally setting up her veterinarian practice in the town she once called home, Emma Burnett is on her own and loving it. Independent and driven, she's not letting any man get in the way of her dreams. Not again. That's fine with Luke McCormick. Divorced and hardly lacking in female company, when he needs it, he's devoted to his only faithful companion in his life, his police dog. That's what makes me want to read this. I was like, police dog. I love puppies. Still, there's something about Emma he can't shake. When a series of local break-ins leaves Emma vulnerable, she seeks help from the first man to spark her desire in years. And now they're giving each other something they thought they'd lost forever, hope. Didn't that sound so sweet?
I'm not sure how I feel about the female company when he wants it line, though.
Hopefully he cuts that out.
I don't know how I feel about that little throwaway.
I was like, ooh, puppy dog.
Well, speaking of puppy dogs, Jill Shalvis and Playing for Keeps, that the dog is what brings the couple together. So comment away if you'd like to win an arc.
That's awesome.
I was like, you just totally reminded me because I read the little summation for the book on Goodreads saying how the two opposites find common ground in rescuing this dog during a storm, and I'm going, hey, puppy dog, Jill Shalvis.
Making a full circle back around.
Yes, comment away to when you know, get a chance to win an arc. As
That's
I'm writing down the title of these books. Because when you said JC, I thought it was like a J and then a C. I didn't know her name was JC.
Like JC. I think that's how you say it. Doesn't kind of looks like it.
well, I didn't know JC because I thought it was gonna be the initials J and C.
Yeah, J.C.
Yeah,
I'm
writing that down. Trying to keep track.
Got it. It's in there. It's in there.
My second book pick is one. It was kind of a random one, but it kind of caught my attention. I don't know because I watched Executive Decision, and I also watched Air Force One recently. So I don't know about planes, like they're on my brain. So Accidental Heroes by Danielle Steele, because we also haven't had a Danielle Steele book, even though she's one of the reigning queens of romance.
You are so right. I'm like floored. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes.
Well, I was going through. I was trying to be a good little girl. I was trying to be very good. Going, what books do I have in my Kindle that I haven't read yet? Or what books do I have that I haven't read yet? And the answer was a lot. But these are two that make me. So I was trying to pick from books that are like, hey, why did I buy you? Like, yeah, these are ones I bought and that sounded good. I'm like, yeah, they still sound good. Go me.
That's awesome. It's a lot.
Yeah. Well,
I did the exact same thing. We're seriously in here. We're in here. I picked from the physical books that I own that I want to read.
I know. It's one of those, like, we're on the same wavelength. We really do share like the same thought process.
We do.
That's how I came up with it. Yes. I mean, Danielle Steele, I mean, she's a staple, but we haven't really talked about her. I mean,
yeah. At all. I think the first book I read by Danielle Steele was Palomino.
I don't even know if I read that because she's written so many. Not Laura Roberts many, but she's written a lot.
Written a lot.
Even like somewhere in the realm, like she's got to be high up there in the numbers. I've kind of Accidental Heroes. It reminded me, again, I had just seen Executive Decision, Air Force One, so I got planes in the brain. So at JFK and an early Monday morning, at security checkpoint, TSA agent Bernice Adams finds a postcard of the Golden Gate Bridge with a bearing. It bears an ambiguous, perhaps ominous message. So her supervisor dismisses her concerns, but then Ben Waterman arrives, a senior Homeland Security agent, still grappling with the guilt after a disastrous operation in which hostages were killed. Ben, too, becomes suspicious. Who left the postcard behind? Which flight is that person on? And what exactly does the message mean?
Ooh,
this paragraph here. This is
like suspenseful.
Ooh. So, as Ben scans the passenger manifest, his focus turns on A321. I don't know how you want to say it. A321, 321, however you want to say it. With Helen Smith as its senior pilot. Helen's military service and her tenure at the airline have been exemplary, but her husband's savage death in Iraq was more than anyone could bear, leaving her widowed with 3 children. A major film star is on board, and so is an off-duty pilot who has just recently lost his 40-year career. So is a distraught father traveling with the baby son he has abducted from his estranged wife. Shifting through data on the relying on instinct, Ben becomes convinced that someone on Helen's plane is planning something terrible. And he's right. Passengers, crew, and experts on the ground become heroes out of necessity to try and avert tragedy at the 11th hour. In her stunning novel, that's what it says, Danielle Steele combines intense action with stories of emotionally rich, intertwined lives as the jets bear down on its destination of San Francisco. Strangers are united, desperate choices are made, and futures will change forever by a handful of accidental heroes. So,
this is like really suspenseful. I'm digging it.
I mean, I was kind of, because I mean, she's a romance genre novelist, but I'm going, this sounds like there's more here than just focusing on the hero and heroine. This sounds like there's a whole lot of twists and turns going on. The who done it? What's going on here is a big thing.
Kind of reminds me of a Sandra Brown book. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I don't think I've read a suspenseful romance in a while. It's been a while since I've read a suspense romance. So if you guys vote for it, we'll take that reading streak. I like their
Or lack thereof.
Because I will post the poll. Just don't want
to forget. Don't forget.
This will go live.
Oh my gosh, we have a couple. We have some good. How are we gonna vote? That's some good books this go around. We're starting the year off right.
Well, I was determined to make your choice win. It won naturally. I didn't have to boost the votes. Like, it won on its own. But you've recommended and you've pitched this book, Stranger in My Arms, so many times. I'm like, this poor thing, like this. I think you pitched this book twice before it won. So on this third round, like third time's the charm, it won. I was like, thank goodness, because I saw it was winning. Otherwise, I was gonna like go in on my extra Twitter account and be like, here's an extra vote.
Oh, I love that. I know if it didn't win, I'd be like, you know what? It's just not meant to be. Just throw it away.
I mean, I was glad it won. I really did enjoy the book.
I'm glad. Yay.
I mean, I think Johnny is my new, like I want to adopt this kid. Like, he's so cute. He's my new favorite child, literary child. I don't know. He's just so cute. So I'm like,
he could be your literary child with your literary husband, Archer.
Yes. I'm building my own literary family.
There's too many literaries in there. I was like, wow.
There were literally a lot of literary.
I was just thinking that, and then you said it. I wasn't gonna say it because I would just like stumble over my words because that's a lot of alliteration. That's awesome.
Oh, I couldn't help it. I feel as if it's one of those dad jokes where it's just so bad. It's like, you gotta laugh.
You just gotta. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm building my own little like puzzle family from books I've read. I'm gonna marry Archer. We're gonna adopt Johnny. Is there a dog that I can take from some book and be like, yes, here's my new like literary pet?
Yeah.
Yeah, build my own little family over there. I still need to learn sign language for Archer. Like, I still need to learn that.
Oh yeah.
So it's a work in progress. My fictional family.
So funny. Oh, that's amazing. All right. Is there anything that we want to talk about? We talked about your ARC giveaway. We talked about the movie we're watching next week. I snuck back in while folding laundry. Hi, Trish. Folding laundry. I hate folding laundry. Yep. Angela's like, yes.
Well, I always have to do something. Again, I think this is a great distraction. I always have to put something on TV or put like Pandora on my phone or something. Like, I have to have something while I'm folding laundry because it gets so tedious and boring.
So true. I know, me too. Either I'm listening to an audiobook or I have music on or a movie. Yeah.
You in an audiobook? Why, never. I never would have guessed.
No. Trish is saying she can lend you her real family.
I think I forgot what it was. One live stream, she had me laughing so hard. I think I was close to tears. You said something. I think it might have been Courtney said she wanted kids, and you're like, "Well, I can give you mine to babysit, and you can see if you want kids or not." Like, the way you offered them up, it was so funny. I was crying. I was laughing so hard.
I remember that live stream. Don't you have teenagers, Trish?
Twins. She's got twins here.
That's like my book club friend Lara. She has 2 sets of twins. Yeah. I was like, man, I don't get it.
These 2 sets?
2 sets of twins, yes.
Well, is it 4 in total, or is there like one child who's just the only one in the bundle?
She just has 4. Yeah, 2 sets of twins. I think they're either 11 and 9 or they're 13 and 11. I can't remember. But yeah. And they're both boy girl. I really do love them. She's like, okay, for the peanut gallery, I love my family. Almost 17. Wow.
So that means you deal with cars, applying to colleges. You have the rough ages. You're on there.
They're out driving and in high school. Oh.
No wonder you were like, you want a baby? You're like,
do you want them here? Take them.
I I mean, that's gonna be tough though, because I mean, if you have two 16-year-olds, one 16-year-old's difficult, let alone two.
Yeah. Wow. You're a saint.
We love you even more.
Remembering what I was like at 17.
Yeah, but you met Joe in your high. You were with Joe by then, right?
Oh yeah. I met him when I was 15, so we were together 2 years when I was 17.
I was gonna say, you were already like in a stable, like you were already on your path.
And then 2 years after that, 2 years after 17, we were married. So yeah, married at 19. Oh, yesterday was our anniversary. We've been together for 14 years.
Oh, oh, happily ever afters do come true. You're so cute. Congratulations. That's so sweet.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's our dating anniversary. So it's like our first date was 14 years ago yesterday.
Oh, I like that you know that. That you have that like written down somewhere, like you know that date.
I do, yeah. It was a good day. Yes, driving has been interesting, not a good interesting. Yeah, I bet. My mom, she could not handle like me like learning to drive, so I learned to drive with my dad.
I was the opposite. My dad was like, "I'm not getting in a car with you." I think it took him like 4 years. Even then, I think the very first time I drove my dad was when I was taking him to the emergency room. Like that was literally the only time like he would get in the car with me. Like there was literally an emergency.
It was either get in the car with you or suffer.
I mean, those are the only options.
Oh.
I think that was the first time I drove him, and I was like 20. Was I 20? It was after I got my license. It was a little while after. I just remember like that was the very first time I think I drove him. My mom was one way to teach me because he was like, "I'm not getting in the car with you."
That's
so I had the opposite experience of you.
Yeah, it was with my dad, and he taught me how to drive a manual transmission. Happy anniversary! Oh, thank you, Trish. You're so wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, we just went out to Cheesecake Factory. That's why I have cheesecake on the brain, because we brought cheesecake home.
You were worried the school might turn. Are they that bad at driving? Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. The only way that my parents were going to allow me to drive is that if I took the driver's course at my high school. So I did.
I just remember because I went to like a high school where like you had to drive there. Like I went to a private Catholic school, so it wasn't in my hometown. So I had to take the driver's ed class with like a bunch of people I didn't know. So it was one of those like amalgams where, you know, they kind of knew each other. I'm like, hi. And then let's watch a video where a kid almost gets hit by a car chasing after a ball into the street. Like they show the same.
Oh yes, that video.
Oh, those videos. You're like they'll be fine in driver's ed class.
Yeah.
Send them there as that's your time away to like go on BookTube and read. Like send them to driver's eds that you have time alone.
They drive so slow. I can crawl faster. Well, the alternative is them speeding.
I was gonna say like that. As far as that goes, I think you're winning.
I think that's so funny.
They won't hit the kid who chases after the ball into the street in that video. The kid's gonna like walk by several times and then going that slowly.
They have plenty of time to stop. They weren't. Yeah.
Have a snack.
That's hilarious. I'm a fast driver though too. I have a lead foot, so it's like I get it though.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't.
There is no driving for me.
Yeah, it really. Sometimes, you know, driving, and then we have snowbirds that come, you know, and live in Phoenix for the winter months, and we have so much more traffic. It's not good.
I was like, I think a little eyelash got mad.
She says, I agree, but sometimes I'm not sure we're moving.
Hey, at least the other thing is too, at least if there is like someone hits you in the hits the bumper, you're like, it's your fault. I know I was not speeding. I know this much. You're like, it is on you. It is you.
Right. And if they're moving like that, I mean, if they hit something, if you're moving that slow, you won't cause that much damage.
That's kind of funny, though.
That's hilarious. I love it.
We're the total opposite. We're like, yeah, I want to go test out Fast and Furious style.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not allowed to drive after we see like a Fast and Furious movie or like any kind of like high speed chase like thing. I'm not allowed to drive afterward because I'm just like, yeah, let's crank the music and let's go. I'm exactly like that because I drive fast anyway. And then so when I see like a Battle to the Metal movie like that, I'm just like, yeah. And my husband's like, you're not driving.
I love you so much. That is amazing.
Oh, yeah. He can attest to that.
That he does know. Whereas the number of books you read, he doesn't need to know that one.
Doesn't need to know that. I think he's talking on the phone with somebody. But Trish is like, I drive super fast too.
I just don't drive.
No.
At least. My car is back at my parents' house, and I'm okay with that because I would not want to drive in the city. That would be that no, just no.
Yeah. If I didn't work so far, I mean, I don't really like the public commuting in Phoenix. It's just not good. It literally takes, if you take the city bus, like literally anywhere, it takes forever to get there. And if I didn't work so far, I would really love to just like work down the street so I can like ride my bike to work or something, because sometimes it's really nice weather here. But yeah, it's just not feasible for us not to have a vehicle. Thanks for a great night.
Oh, bye. Thank you for joining us while you folded laundry. I hope you finished folding the laundry.
Have a great night, Trish. She's so funny.
I want to keep her. She's so cute. I was going to say, like, if you live in any like type of suburban area, like it makes more sense to have a car. But I mean, I moved into my apartment because I went to Georgetown for my master's. So I wanted to live close to the university, and then I'm going to American for my PhD, which isn't that far away. So I mean, it kind of just made sense. Like I didn't have to worry about it. But if I was traveling to a different school, if I was doing something, you just muted yourself because your dogs are barking, aren't they? I just saw her, she muted, and I was like, something's going on there. But yeah, I mean, circumstances, they vary. Oh, she's back. She's unmuted.
I'm back. Yeah, sorry. It's like my dog's barking. Oh. She says, yes, I did finish laundry. Good. I hate laundry. The never-ending story.
It's a vicious cycle. Can't escape it.
I know. The worst part is the folding and putting it away.
Oh, why is my internet acting up all of a sudden?
Ah! Well, at least it waited until we were kind of nearly done.
All of a sudden, it's doing kind of that claymation stop action motion thing going on.
Oh.
The movements. I don't know if I look like I'm doing that on your end, if that's how it is on the feed or not, but it's kind of doing this delayed thing right now. So hopefully it's not affecting your viewing or anyone else's. But right now it looks as if I'm doing kind of this staccato motion thing.
You were, but now you kind of are a little bit delayed, but it's smoother, but you just look a little pixelated.
Maybe. Oh, the battery's, it's plugged in. It says I'm down to a 6% battery, even though I plugged it in, and it should have been okay by now. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not the internet. Maybe it's the battery.
Maybe it's the battery. But at least it was kind enough to wait until we were nearly done.
Yes. So is there anything else people would like to add or you would like to add before my computer shuts down on me or I lose internet or something goes awry?
No, I think that's it. I think we covered all the bases. I'm so glad that we, read Stranger in My Arms. It was nice to go back and reread and visit Hunter and Lara and Gianni and Rachel. And so yeah, next week we're going to be watching To All the Boys I've Loved Before. And then the week after that, we're doing We're Picking Romance Sci-Fi Edition. And we did pick our books, which Angela will go on the Twitter so you can vote for the book that we are reading for next month. I think that's it. I think that covers it.
I think you just summarized everything super, like, that was perfect. That was amazing.
That was my elevator pitch.
Yeah, and I think the elevator just dinged and everyone was like, yeah, we have all the information as we exit. Like, that was perfect.
Thank you. We will follow up. Thank you. Well, I love everyone so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Angela, she is wonderful. And the queen, and I love her. She's wonderful.
I love you too. I'm so happy. I felt like we hadn't done this in so long, and it's kind of great. You know, it's like coming home and like being back talking with you. It's just so great. I love it.
I know. I was just like, man, I miss your face. I just miss like talking with you like this, because we DM each other nearly every day. So, but it's like, it's different, you know, when you're here and you're, you know, even though, yes, we're still through a screen, but I could see you and we could talk. And I love that.
And there's no delayed, because I don't get the Twitter notifications for me is just not a thing. So I actually have to go in and manually check to see if I have a message. So there's a delay sometimes. She'll message me and I won't see it right away. And it's so sad. I'm like, oh, dang it, Nicole messaged me. I want to message her back. Whereas now we can actually converse and there's no stop, hour or two later, stop, 15 hours later for no apparent reason. Thank you, Twitter.
I'll wait.
Oh.
I'll wait.
I
know, like whenever I send you a message, if you don't respond right away, I'm just like, she'll get it. She'll respond. I'll wait.
I have to go in and check though. I'm like, how do I turn on notifications just for Nicole?
Right.
Oh my gosh. I'm so happy we're back though, and that we're picking up with our romance reading fun and we get to chat. And I'm glad that this book finally won. I enjoyed it. I mean, I want to rename Hunter like Hunter.
Hunter. Yes, he needs a new name because he deserves better.
He is definitely swoon-worthy. I loved some of his lines of dialogue and even his inner thoughts, like his inner monologue. He had some lines of how much he loved her and desired her and cherished her. So he was a great hero. I enjoyed him. And Lara was a great heroine. So you have excellent taste in books.
Thanks. But yeah, I'm really glad, and I love, you know, our anniversary. We've been doing this for a year. I can't believe it, and I hope we do it for so much longer.
I know, this is actually our 1 year anniversary, right?
Yes,
we're having our anniversary. We actually need something to celebrate that, because we need, like, that is a monumental occasion. We first read Archer's Voice in January of last year, and now it is 1 year later. We're still talking about Archer. I still marry him. It's a thing. He is my love.
We will still be talking about Archer for our 5-year anniversary, you know? So
I know, 5. It's like we've been. See, I would still be doing this with you 5 years later.
I would still be. Yes, absolutely. We're gonna be doing it forever. You know, we'll just be like the rickety old ladies in the, you know, nursing home, and here we are still talking about romance.
Like, did you read that new Lisa Kleypas book?
I sure did. Eat your Jello and take your meds.
At that point, though, we're probably gonna end up living near each other, though. Like, at least this point, we'll be like talking to the screen, sitting next to each other, probably in the same room.
That would be cool. Oh, that would be awesome. We're like actually in the same room and talking to each other.
Joe will be like, I'm gonna go play with the dogs now. He'll be like, we're leaving your romance.
Yes. Hopefully, my goal in life is to live in the same city that you do. So whether, you know, both of us have to move, one of us has to move, it's gonna happen.
Okay. And then we're gonna co-write romance novels. We're gonna be like, oh my gosh, Christina Lauren there. Is that name Lauren Christina? Why am I can't, is it Lauren Christina? Christina
yeah.
Lauren?
Yes. Christina Lauren, I think.
Yeah. One's Christina, one's Lauren. We'll be like Nicole Angela or Angela Nicole. Like, we're gonna have to do something like that. That's gonna be us someday. I
just remember Bree suggesting that, you know, we co-write a cozy mystery, that we own, you know, a bookstore. And we were hosting a romance event, and like the author or someone like ends up dead with the book.
Like, that needs to be a thing. That needs to be written. I mean, I still gotta finish reading your draft. I still gotta finish my beta read of that. Now that I'm back in DC, like, I gotta do this. I gotta finish a beta read for you. But we We do have to do that eventually. That is on our to be written list.
To be written. Yes. That's awesome. All right, my love. You have a great night. Get some sleep, rest up, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Bye. Have a great night.
And I'm hitting stop broadcast, everyone, right now. So I hope everyone joins us next Tuesday for Who Picked This Movie.
Yay.